Hi, today I have with me Rebekah Dodson. Rebekah is not only a best-selling author of like a trillion books, she also teaches writing at college level, and I have one of her newest books with me, but I see that you also have lots of new books, so I don't know if this is absolutely your newest, but I have the book Mirrors, and that's how I found you, and I can't wait to talk to you about it.
Thank you for having me today.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for coming on. I found this book, and I read it, and I loved it. And so I was like, okay, I want to read more stuff of hers. And I went on, and I was like, oh, my gosh, how many books do you write or have you written so far?
I've written about 50, and I have 12 published right now.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, and they're like a month apart. Like, do you really write them that close together, or do you kind of release them like that?
No, I write them all at once, and then I release like parts, like in a series, about every 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I am so impressed. I don't think I've ever come across an author who has written as many books as you. Like I was like, all right, well, I want to get her newest one. I was like, wait, she's got 5 of them in the last 3 months. So I'm not sure if Mirrors is. I know you have a book coming out tomorrow. Is this the second part of the Lanval series?
Yes, it is. And it's called Marie, and it's a continuing story of our hero, Gil, and his time-traveling adventures in France.
Oh, I'm so excited because I was hoping you were going to say that. I was hoping that it wasn't, that I picked up the wrong current book. I was like, oh, I hope the one that's coming out tomorrow is the continuation because I want to see what happens to them. And so here, I have so many questions about him. First of all, I love him. Gil is the main character of Mirrors, and he is. I decided after I got done reading it, it's like he's like the guy you'd want to date, but then not really. Because he seems to be, kind of fickle, but you're like, but he's so adorable,
He's the guy that everyone wants to date, but then when you get in a relationship with him, you realize he's kind of a jerk. And you're like, I don't know about this guy, what am I supposed to do with him? And he's really insecure about himself deep down.
I'm sorry.
He thinks he's the best thing since sliced bread, and that's he quickly realizes that he's not as soon as he gets back to France. So
interesting, but I think that I do sense a level of insecurity in him, but then it's also like you almost want to be that girl that he changes. Like we always say that, don't look for a man that you have to change, but you're like, but I want to change it. I could make it better for him,
Right. And it was so much fun writing Marie because this is this girl that she's a time traveler just like Gil, and she's seen a lot of stuff, and she doesn't have any time for him at all. And when they first meet, he finds her in the corner of a busy court, and she's writing poetry. And he says, what are you doing? There's all these people singing and dancing, and you should join the party. And she's like, I don't have time for that. And he says, what? What? Who are you? And she's like, I'm no one. I'm of no consequence. A knight like yourself would not know who I am. And he eventually finds out that she writes, love poems. And he said, well, what do you think of love? And she goes, only fools are given to love. And so she starts kind of popping up wherever he is, and he suddenly realizes, why aren't you paying attention to me? Pay attention to me.
Wow, which is interesting, coming off of how his relationship in this book with Becky. I guess you say it Becky, even though it's spelled.
Becky, yes.
Yeah. I like that I like that spelling. And he's like, he can't decide. He wants her, and then she's like, but you're not in love with me. And then he's like, no, I'm not in love with you. Yep. But it's almost like he's still hurt by her because she's going to go get married to somebody else. But would you really want to marry her? I don't think he even knows if you really want to marry her or not.
It's literally just somebody at work that he has this. She's kind of his booty call.
Right.
he kind of wants to be with her, but he can't bring himself to make anything permanent because he's never had anything permanent.
Right.
He's always had a girlfriend for, a few weeks or maybe a few hours. And so to be with somebody for more than a minute to him is like, why would I want to do that? There's all these pretty ladies out here.
What was it like writing from a man's perspective? Now, I haven't read your other books, so I don't know if this is the first time you've done that. But
so the funny story about this is almost all of my books have a man's perspective. My original series, Postcards in Paris, is actually two perspectives from the man and the woman that are kind of chasing each other. And so I started writing that with the man's perspective, and then I wrote the prequel, which is all from my main character's, my male character's perspective. And then after I finished that prequel, I thought, man, I really love writing this, like, kind of snarky douchebag type thing. And it's very interesting because my influences are all male, too. Like, I have, my best friend is male, and he's also a writer. And then at the time I was composing Mirrors, my PA was also male, and he was a paramedic, and he had all these great things to help me write them. And so I just kind of picked up on all of their little nuances, like, the tics, running their hands through their hair, stroking their chin, a finger behind the ear when they're thinking. And so I channeled all of that in Gil, and all of his mannerisms and everything he said and how he moved.
Interesting. I did ask my boyfriend. I was like, "Do you really think about boobs every time a woman walks out?" He was like, "What?"
That was a really hard scene to write actually because I was asking my male friend, like, what do you notice in a woman? And he immediately said, I love watching her walk away. Like, legs and ass, that's all I want to see. And I said, oh, okay, well, but I need to rewrite this scene. And I eventually just kept it because my data readers just loved it so much. They were like, yes. I had a few male data readers that were like, yeah, that's exactly what goes through my head too. I wrote it and then I went, are you kidding me? But it just developed Bill so much. I mean, it was just like, oh, we have this serious college student who's kind of a little snarky, but then this scene, it just drops the fact that he's just a womanizer,
Right.
So.
Right. Exactly. And I have a younger brother. So my younger brother is very close. He's 2 years younger than me. And so I thought you just nailed the relationship between them because that is exactly how my brother and I are. Do you have a sibling? Like, did you know how that was, or did you just write that from?
I do. I have a brother who's like 6 years younger than me, but we didn't have that kind of relationship because I was off in college and married and having kids before he was even out of high school. But I do have, like I said, I have a really good friend who I've been friends with for like 8 years, and he's my little brother. We're 2 years apart. Not even related to him, but he's just that close. We're just that close.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that it was just, when I'm reading there, I think that's what I enjoyed so much about the book because that's how we talk to each other, and because we were so close in age and grew up, and actually in our 20s, and that's how they're like in their early 20s, right? She's like 23 and he's like 20. Yeah, okay. So, and I was like 22, my brother, but throughout our 20s, our paths crossed way more than when I started, having children and raising children, and we went through a lot of stuff together, and so the voice that you've given them back and forth, like I was like, oh my gosh, I could so see if me and my brother were in this situation, like this is exactly how we would have talked to each other. That's exactly how it would have happened.
That's exactly how I channeled it too, because like I kept thinking of like if I had to time travel back in time and I had this one person with me, how would they react to it? And so that's kind of what Jules was born. It was just that, shut up, I'm talking. You're gonna listen to me because I'm the older one.
Right.
And I'm the older one with my friend, and I say that a lot, and he's like, no, you're gonna listen to me. So that back and forth diatribe is just, it's too real. It's too real. And Jules, his sister, actually has a small following on Facebook. So, like, when I do promotions and takeovers, I've always got, like, 3 or 4 people that are like, yeah, I read the book, and she is such a kick-ass woman, and I freaking love her, you know. So I didn't need her to be such a major character, to be honest. But she's really grown.
Yeah, and I think that in this, you know, in this world, I can see that. I can see why women would be really attracted to her character, you know, because she is so strong, and, you know, that is very, you know, like I said, like you just nailed it, and I was like, that's me right there, you know. And even though, you know, I'm not a lesbian, and you wrote her as a lesbian, it didn't matter. It didn't matter to the character of her at all, because that's exactly how I would speak to, you know, my brother anyway, because I think as older sisters, like, are you the oldest also, like in your sibling, out of all your siblings? Or do you just have one brother? Yeah. See, I'm the oldest. Yeah, and I just have one brother. But it's amazing how you take on that role, and then when you see your children, you know, when I see my oldest is a son, but when I see him take over, I'm like, oh, I get that. I get why you do that.
I have two teenagers, and they're 18 months apart. And so my son is the older one as well. And so he's always just like, no, do it this way. You're going to do it this way. You're going to like it this way. Mm-hmm. So my kids were definitely a bit of an inspiration for that interaction as well.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's right. If you have children that are that. I don't, because I have 6 children, and my oldest is a boy, then I had another boy, and then I had a girl. So it's a little bit different dynamic than that. But he does, like, my oldest son does like to take over, and it's funny because sometimes they will rebel, you know, as a group.
There comes a time in Marine when Gil just said, I'm so done with you and your whatever you're doing, and I don't want to see you anymore, to Jules, and their relationship really struggles a little bit.
Oh, that's good. Also, I cannot wait to, seriously, I cannot wait to, is it going in as a Kindle tomorrow, or is it going out as print?
It's both.
Both, tomorrow. Okay. So what do you do when you said you have, like, your book launch? Like, what do? Do you go to a bookstore for signings?
No, because I live in a rural community, and so we don't really have a bookstore here. So I networked with a few other authors, and I'm doing it purely on Facebook and Twitter. Well, my Facebook and Twitter are linked, but I have my author page on Facebook, and then I host an event, and I invite in, like, anywhere from 10 to 15 authors, and they each get an hour in this event to promote their books. And so and I do 5 or 6 of these a week with other authors who are all
really
stuff. Oh yeah, it's huge. I just did one last night that had 2,500 people in attendance from Australia, England, Belgium. So these takeovers are a huge exposure for books. So.
That is awesome, because that is one thing that I'm just so passionate about is, you know, getting books out to people, you know, and it's easier with social media, you know, it's not, I think it's an easier time in a lot of ways for them, but there's also more books too. Well, that's how I feel. I feel like there's more out there because of self-publishing, and it's like, I just want to be this, you know, I'm always like, you know, want these people to be out there. It's like, read this book, you know, this is awesome, and the authors are so awesome, and I've made so many good friends doing this. So that's a great opportunity for authors. That's awesome.
Yeah, when I have an event, or if I even get invited to one, I can usually fill it within a few hours, because I've got 15 or 20 different authors that I can just be like, hey, there's this event, I'm going, are you in? And they're like, yeah, I just signed up. So
wow.
We have one next week with Adam Reese, who's a wonderful dark romance science fiction author. When he started it, probably like a week ago, we filled it within 24 hours. It's a 3-day event, and we've got probably close to 100 authors hosting. So.
Wow. What a great way to connect with your fans, too. I mean, that's just, you know, the fans are everything. You know, and as a reader, I'm such a fan. I'm a fan. That's what made me do this. I'm a fan. I'm one of those people that are just fans, you know, like I love you, I love everything you write, I love, you know, I'm like one of those. So I bet that and you can connect so much better than what authors, you know, 20, 30 years ago couldn't do unless they went to a book signing or something like that. This is so much better. That's awesome.
Right. Yeah, and I've got so many people that are just hooked on Bill. Like the editor actually for this book she fangirls over him all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I'll send her, like, clips, like, you'll just said this in the next part. She's like, what? I love him. He's so awesome. So, yeah, she's working on book 3 now, and she's just like, what are you doing to him? Why are you putting him through this?
Oh, my. So do you have an idea when you start a series how many you want to put in a series?
I typically do 4 because that ends the whole series at being like 128,000 words. And that makes it publish. It's easier to publish it that way because it's cheaper for me to put them out in a regular timeline. But Gil, I just started. I ended book 4 last weekend, and I think he's going to have 6 or 7 books. But usually I only started with 4.
Yeah, I was wondering with the way that you did this because I'm really liking, like, I've never read a short book that like this, you know, like in this kind of a way. And I was wondering, like, how did you think of that, or did your publisher think of that? I think it's brilliant, you know, because you're like, I don't know, it's a different way of going about it, but you're not overwhelmed by a 400-page book, you know?
Right. And the market research indicates, I have a master's in English, and so I took several publishing classes. And when we did a lot of the research of market penetration, looking at all that, the trends are for 25 to 35,000 words. People are just wanting something they can read on their commute or listen to in their car. And so that's why I decided to do the shorter books, because it's an opportunity for them to get like that first chunk and read it real quickly and then get the second chunk. And I actually had a traditional publisher for my first series, and I'm no longer with them. But originally, we came up with this idea together in grad school because we're talking about this, and we're like, why is nobody releasing series like this?
Yeah, and it's not, like sometimes with young adult authors or, like younger kids, they'll do but I was like, this for adults, this is brilliant. This is a brilliant idea, so that was very, very perceptive of you, very advanced thinking.
Yeah, thank you. It really keeps it affordable for me too, because now I'm self-publishing, so every month I've got, editing costs and cover costs and all that stuff. And so instead of taking a year to write, 100,000 and then spending $1,500 to get it out, I'm able to do it like boom every 4 weeks.
Oh, interesting. Why did you choose to self-publish? Because it was easier, or usually people go the other way, they self-publish and then they get with the publisher. But you went with the publisher and decided to self-publish.
I went with the publisher, and they couldn't keep up with how fast I was writing. So it was taking like a year or more to get like one part of the series out, and I just said, no, I can't. I write too fast because I'm an adjunct, and so I teach part-time, and I've got a lot of other time in my hands, and so I write a lot. I type 110 words a minute, so I can put out, I can write 50K in 30 days. It's not a problem.
Yeah, and you know what? I've heard that from other people who, started off self-publishing, is that they felt the same way. It's like, I just want to write and I want to get it out there. I don't want to spend, 6 months for somebody to say, okay, and then now we'll think about a book cover. They're like, no, I want this done. I want it out there, and with the way things are today, you can do that. And that's what's awesome. I love self-published books.
I'm kind of going towards hybrid because I actually just had a book with a publisher and the publishing house closed recently, and so I'm going to be self-publishing that book because it made it to the final stages. But it took us 9 months to edit it, and I just felt like that was too long because I have a wonderful editor who takes about 3 weeks to edit books, and it's
wow.
And so I don't understand why I should have to wait a year to get a book out because there's only so much promotion I can do on a book,
Right.
And with how many books there are, people just forget about you in a year or two, So I think that releasing as soon as you can, is better. And most of this series is being written, like I said, I'm on book 5 right now, but I'm delaying releasing them to try to drum up some of the fans and some of the interest in the series.
Well, I'm looking at, I have the book right in front of me, and I'm looking at the cover, and I'm telling you, and now I see that it's self-published, but I cannot tell by this cover. So whoever you're getting, because, that's one of the complaints that publishers have is they'll say, well, you need to publish with us because we can get you better covers. Okay? And I'm looking at this cover.
I do not see a quality cover in a lot of the smaller publishers. I see it with, Stephen King and J.K. Rowling, but, that's the big leagues, I'm not there yet. But I don't see quality covers like this at all with the smaller publishing houses.
Yeah, this cover is, it's perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, and I'll just say Courtney Cannon is the one who does my cover designs, and she has her own business, Fiction Atlas Services. She does covers, book trailers, she even does, voices for book trailers, and she's just so amazing. Like, we came up with this concept, and I don't know if you've seen the cover from Marie yet or not, because it's up on Third Reads, but every cover has this mirror image that's transposed.
I love that.
So we came up with it, and she ran with it. Just, oh my God, let's go look at Adobe Photos, and we look at stock photos, and she goes, this is him, he's Bill. He's so hot, and he's so debonair, like, this is him. And I went, yeah, it really is him.
Yeah, it really is him. And I do like looking at him. Like, I love that, when I was reading it, I'd look at the cover and go, oh, yeah, okay. Because when he would talk about his look, or she would talk about it, his sister would talk about his, like, nose, and I'd look at the cover, I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, I can see that. I do like having the picture of him on the front, but it's just so well laid out. Everything, the print, everything about it is, it's a beautiful book. So
he's gonna go with like chainmail and a sword all the time, and Courtney would just know Bill has to be on the cover because he's not gonna forgive you if you don't sit on the cover. And in a way, we put Marie on the second cover just because we found such a great picture of a model that was just so defiant and so, not taking any crap from anybody, and so we had to put her on the second cover too. So.
Oh, that's just awesome. I will be reading it tomorrow because I need to find out what happened. So I will be definitely downloading it and then because I do like having hard copies. I'm one of those weird book people that need I need the hardcovers too. I can start reading it on my Kindle, but I need to have the book. It's just that's the way I am.
That's part of the reason why I wanted to go self-publishing too, because my publisher only wanted ebooks. And I was like, well, but I have, family and friends that prefer, the printed stuff. And he wouldn't do it. So I was like, okay, well, I can do this for myself for free. I taught myself how to format the books for print. So, I wanted to go that way.
Well, I think that a couple of years ago, people were all like, oh, my gosh, Kindle, it's going to take away, libraries, and I'll take away books. And I know as a reader, and I know other people who are readers, like, I never thought that way. Never. I did get a Kindle kicking and screaming because of when I spent a lot of time on an airplane, and I was like, I can't drag all these books with me. So I did get that one, and I found it convenient, but it is not my preferred way of reading at all. Like, it never took over. It's convenient. But like I said, I'll start it. I'll start it on Kindle, and I'm good with that. But I need the hardcover. There's something about holding the book. There's something about reading in bed with a book. There's just something about that I don't think it's going to go away. I really don't. I don't see that happening.
I don't see it happening either. And I found that, if I have a book on Kindle that I really love, I would pay anything to get it in hardback. Charlene Harris is one of my favorite authors, and I have all of her books in hardback. Just because I love her writing style so much.
Yeah, and people say that. Well, you're spending, you're going to buy the Kindle and get the hardcover. It's like, yeah, I do.
I mean, if you look at it, you're still saving money because a lot of hardback books nowadays are still $20.
Right.
Sometimes with these authors, you can get the hardback and the Kindle for still under $10. So it's still cheaper,
Absolutely, and to me, it is worth it. And I think that. I think a lot of readers feel that way, so I'm really happy that you did self-publish these. I'm really happy that you didn't stick with just the Kindle series. I needed to see the picture. I needed to see it,
And I don't make anything from the print cost. I think my royalty is about 30 cents for each $6 book, and so I'm not making anything print. I don't really have a lot of print sales, which is, because Kindle does cut into that. But I just wanted that option for people that wanted to hold something, and in the future I want to be able to have something to sign to give to somebody,
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Absolutely. If I'm ever in Oregon, I will definitely.
Well, my students keep asking me. I've been giving away so many I ordered like 30 books when I first published Mirrors, and all of my students are like, "Can I have one? I'll give you $5 for it." And I'm just like, "Oh, okay,
That's awesome. Right, exactly.
Yeah. And luckily my students are all adults, so I don't have to worry about my language.
Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on here and talking about this and, enlightening us all. I will put the link. When I send you the copy of the video, please, give me the link of how people can join those forums you have, because I think that's just amazing. And the more people that you can get involved in that is a great way to connect with authors. So I appreciate
honestly, the easiest thing you can do is just follow the authors on Facebook, because all of us post, where we're going to be. Last night I posted, I'll be here in an hour. I did a live reading of Marie in the takeover. And so, people following my public page can see, oh, she's going to be here, so I can just click this link and go see what she's doing.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Well, Facebook is making, there's a lot of advancement lately on that stuff to be able to, it seems like they're constantly upgrading for people that want to promote anything. They're making it easier and easier, so that's awesome. Well, thank you so much, and I will be talking to you soon. Hopefully, we'll see what happens with the series, and maybe we can chat again when you're all done with them, and
Oh, I've got a steampunk series coming out, and I've got an apocalypse series coming out. So I'm shooting for 15 books this year. So
wow, well, good luck.
Yep.
Good luck. I'm glad you write fast, so I'm sure everybody else appreciates how fast you write too.
Yeah, they do.
Awesome. Well, have a great day, Rebekah. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, bye-bye.